Hello, I'm Juntao again, and I'm back. So in this video, I'd like to show you the 10 most common refactorings I used every single day when I coding. No matter you are experienced developer or you just start your clean code journey, I think they will be helpful to having these fundamental techniques. I think it's critical to master these techniques we're going to talk about in this video. If you are struggling with how to be more productive, how to be more efficient when you're doing the clean code and the refactoring, this is a video just for you. Hello my friend, my name is Juntao. I'm a software developer, an author, and a creator. I help people write better code. I do that by writing blogs and articles or even books. And I also create videos for people who want to learn clean code, refactoring, test-driven development, and many other things in software development. Yeah, I enjoy to create this content to help people, especially for the beginners, to learn these fundamental techniques they will need in day-to-day life. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and turn on the notifications, so whenever I have new releases, you will get notified. Once you master all the techniques we are talking about in this video, you will be a much better developer and much more productive. I have published a book on the clean code topic, and I will put the link in the description below. Please feel free to buy a copy, and if you click that link, you will have 30% discount. So let's get started. The code example we're going to use today is the payment again. You should be familiar with that if you have already subscribed my channel and watched the clean code videos. So essentially, it's a simple feature in the payment in the online ordering application. So the payment section itself is pretty simple. They just like payment method and the donation checkbox, and then there's a button. When you click the button, it will like pay with the payment gateway stuff. But I'm not going to touch any of the actual payment. And today we're going to focus on the code. It doesn't matter which feature we're talking about, but just to give you some context. The code is pretty ready to go. It's running properly. I haven't done the refactoring part of the TDD for this particular one because I want to leave that for this video. So if we have a look at the current test, it's pretty much have that payment method and the roundup stuff. And if I run all the tests now, they're all passing. That is great. So that means we can focusing more on the refactoring part of the TDD. So this is all about the context. The very first one is a very simple, maybe the simplest one in all the refactorings we use normally, which is slide statements or statement of statements. It's basically like you move one line or a couple of lines up or down. It is that easy. But it's important in many scenarios. You'll see how important that moving, like the subtle movement is, why the subtle movement is so important. For example, if I want to move this line in like 20 to 19 and then the 19 like a swap, you don't have to select the line here. You just moving your cursor into this line, and then you press Command Shift up, it will swap that, or down, it will move the line down. And also you can select a block, like move it up or down as well, just like you moving one line. But it's just you have to select it, or you can select the whole like variable or statement and move it up or down basically. It's pretty handy when you want to moving things around before you're doing some other refactoring. It's important to me, like in many cases, maybe there are some like a assignment and then some for loop and then some variable definition stuff, and you would like to like slide them up and down to like make them organized and easy to read. And also the slide working with function as well, so you can like select this whole block and then move it up down by command shift down again, the down arrow, or up. The next one is rename variable or rename function or rename things in WebStorm. It's very useful as well. It will automatically, when we're renaming, it will automatically update all the references to that variable or function. So for example, if I want to change the value of this one, agree to donate, it's a variable, and I select that. Actually, you don't have to select it. You just move your cursor into that variable and it place in the variable, and then you press Shift and F6 at the same time. Shift F6. It will select all the variable and give you some suggestions as well. So you can see it's asking whether you want it to be or first or first to be, but which doesn't matter. It doesn't make too much sense in this context. But yeah, you get the idea. So we probably can make it like should donate, things like that. And you will see the beautiful thing here is it's actually updating the set method for you as well. So if you hit enter now, it will ask you, do you want to keep this as well? You said yes, and it will update all the variable and the setter as well. So it's very useful to like renaming this kind of thing. But I think the agree to donate is a better name, so I will change it back just for demonstration purpose. And it works for like functions you want to like, I don't want to call it message, maybe call it checkbox label, and it's updating both places, the calling place and the function itself. And tip number 3 is we can easily modify a signature of a function. Let's say because I have a hook already, it's used roundup. It has all the state management. It's managing the total and tip stuff inside this function already. So I'm wondering if I can move this agree to donate and set agree to donate stuff into that hook as well. I don't have to maintain all these status in different places. So the first thing I would do is I can slide this statement down, and so I can move these 2 lines into that hook easily. So you can command shift down. Actually you can either do command shift down, or you can select this whole block and move it up, right? And then you can copy this whole block into that hook. So we can copy this, and inside the use roundup, by the way, you can command B to jump into the definition or jump into the definition of that function. So here we have copied this line, you can paste it here, and now you notice that the function has passed in this parameter already. So you can change the signature of that function by press command F6. That will pop up a a dialog for you, and then you can like move in this order of, or change the order of the parameter, or create a new one and remove the existing one, let's say. So in our case here, we would like to remove the agree to donate from the parameter list. You just hit the delete and then enter to refactoring, and then it's just removed, and even the calling place is gone, right? So then we need to return this from the hook, and also we'd like to return this change handle change as well as a method from this hook. And then in the calling place, again, we don't have that statement set up. Sorry, the agree to donate and handle change from here. Instead, we will do the agree to donate and handle change here, and then get rid of these two lines. And if we run the test again, they're all passing, which is great. We don't have to worry about anything broken, and the use roundup is totally refined. So the next one will be extract method, which is a very, very common. I use that like every single day, and yeah, I really like that one. It's basically extract a block of code or block of statement into a function. It's called extract method or extract a function. So basically it's just extract a block of code into a function. So let's say I would like to in a use memo, there is a whole function body here, and I want that to be in its own function. So I have select this block. It's command option M, M for method. It's just another name for the function. So command option M, it will ask you where do you want to put that function or method. So it gives you a few options: global, function payment, or function anonymous. I would like that to be in a global space. So I select global, and I want that, and I would like to call that function enhance payment methods. So what it does essentially is making sure the stream method will be expanded or extended with a label, and yeah, put the method into a provider instead, and then push something to the at the end of the array. So basically it's just doing that work. So by doing that, I simplify the code in payment, right? I can even do further, like in WebStorm, you can use this context action, context related action. It's basically option enter, then it will suggest you something that totally makes sense. For example, in here, it's return itself in a bracket, so I don't want that bracket. So I just say option enter. It will ask you, do you want to remove the brace around our function body? Yes, please. And they will clean it up for you. And also in here, I would like to swap this if else, because I want it to break if the method is length is 0. So I would like to enter option enter. It will ask, do you want to flip the if else? Yes, please. And then it will ask, it will like flip it, and then I can remove this as well. I can either do that manually or option enter. It will ask, do you want to unwrap the else? Yes, please. So now it looks more natural, and yeah, it's pretty clean status. And also you can, like, if you want to convert the function to a arrow function, you do that by option enter again. It will ask you, do you want to convert to variable holding arrow function. Yes, please. And then you have this fancy like additional function here. So the next one is extract variable. It's pretty much it's similar to extract a function, but it's just to extract a variable. It's very useful to give a expression a name that easy to be referenced or whatever. So for example, if you want to extract this one as a constant, you can select the block first. It's basically it's option up, and then you can like gradually select what you try to select, and then command option V for a variable. So here, let's say it's cache. We can for now make it call it cache. So you have this constant. There is a similar one called command option C, which is for constant. It will ask you, do you want to define it as a local constant or a global constant? So for now, let's say we want a global constant, and then we give it name as cache provider. So it's just extract that back to at the top of your function. You can slide it up to the top of the file, or just move it to a different place, or you can move it back. But moving it back, I mean you can inline that variable back to the where it's extracted. So the shortcut for the inline operation is command option N. So basically it will ask, do you want to move this back? And you say yes, please. It will simply do opposite what we just extracted. This is very useful as well. So like when you extract something out and you feel okay, it's probably not the best way to do that, and then you want to revert your change, to just simply command option N to move it back. But for now, let's just select the whole thing, extract as a variable. Here we call it cache provider, and then we slide it up to here. I think it's pretty good for now. Let's keep it. Let's look at one new refactoring, which is called extract type or type aliens. So basically in TypeScript, you normally would see a long list of props in a component. This is a very simple case, but normally it will be like much longer. And there are some inline types like this one, but people like me tend to extract that as a type definition itself. So in WebStorm, there is a shortcut for this action or refactoring. It's called type aliens. Unfortunately, there is no shortcuts by default for this type extraction, but you can launch that by Command T to have this contacts menu, and then you can select one in a drop down, which is type aliens. I have already give it a shortcut, which is Command Option I for interface. So I can select this and Command Option I to have a extract a type here. So I will call it payment props. That will define this fancy type here, and you can use it back as normal. Now let's look at one new refactor for component. It's called extract component, which is applicable for I think AngularJS and Vue, but for this case we are going to use React here. So basically you select a bunch of JSX or TSX like so, and then you give it a name, or you extract that as a component here. So for example, I'm selecting the label here, and I want to extract that as a component called payment method. But I don't have, so by default, unfortunately, there is no shortcut for it, but I have defined my own shortcut for it. You can always like using Control T to have this context menu, and then you can select from the drop-down list like extract component here. I've already given it Control Command C, which is save component, and we can do that by press that. It will ask you what do you want to call that new component. We will call it here payment method, which is a function component, and enter. It will help us to generate this thing here. That's pretty nice. And also we can, option enter to convert that to a class or component or verbal holding a row function. It doesn't matter much here. So let's say if we want to extract one more component here, the label, we want to move it into a separate component called checkbox, or maybe we can call it donation checkbox, and that will create this component like so. And we can use the context menu as well again here to like make this a deconstructing operation, which will be option enter propagate to deconstructing declaration, which will be like that. And so if you haven't seen that before, so this is accessing the props.onChain property.check property.check property. We want to propagate the deconstructing declaration, and that will be much easier. And also we can give this a type name. Let's say it's donation checkbox perps, something like that. And then you can again make it a row function, which is simpler to read as well. And the last one is move. It's basically you can move one field or type definition or function into another file, or move that from another file back to the origin place. So for example, if I want to move this formatting into a helper function file, I can do that by press F6. F6 will asking you where do you want to move this verbal or like this function or member to. We can make that into a helper.ts and enter. It will move the function into that place, and it will do the importing for you as well. And I reckon this one, enhance payment method, can go to that place as well. So as we have already defined that function, that file, we can just select it from the drop down here and doing the refactoring. That's pretty nice, right? And also it works for components as well. Let's say if you want to extract this donation checkbox, you do F6, and you can select the corresponding type here, like donation checkbox perps, and then you do the refactoring. Actually, it gives you a reasonable name already, and you can do the refactoring. We will put all this into a new file called donation checkbox, and in your original one, sorry, in the payment, it's using that directly. Same thing to the payment method, F6, and you can select the payment perps and the payment method. So doing the refactor, it will extract that payment method into the file and export that by default, and then you have the fancy cleaner payment. So now it's much more readable and it's pretty short. I can't remember what's the origin lines of code, but I believe it's much longer than this. And that's all I have for today. That's all the refactorings, shortcuts, and the most I guess common ones I use every day. I hope you found it useful, and please comment below if you have any questions or you have other recommendations or like better ways to do it, or any experience you want to share with me as well. Please comment below. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe and like and share the video to your friends who want to be more productive as well. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.